45,000 people a year die.
Under the American flag!
Under the American flag!
Okay, just so you know this is Sunday. And this is a cemetery. This is not a public place. This is a cemetery.
Okay.
So anything you do in here, you can be arrested if you do something stupid. Now, that's a desecration. Those signs on that.
All right. Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
So just so you know, we don't want the police coming in and doing something and arresting people for no reason. So let's be conscious that we are under our flag, but also these are dedicated to all the people who died in our wars.
Amen.
So let's show respect. Let's show respect, but let's talk about the issues that we need to talk about. All of them, and we've had some very good discussions over here.
Oh, yeah.
Let's add it. Let's add it to the.
All right.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
It's all right. You can talk to me. I'm a person too. You guys are, right?
How's it
This
going?
is a conversation. Thanks for coming down for the first General Assembly of Occupy Worcester. That's right. Give it some noise. We're all here for a reason, right? Sure, we all got our own specific little reasons, but in reality, we are not being heard in the world at large. So we're here to practice what is called direct democracy. We all come together and we make decisions now. Okay? There's a few folks that are going to be coming up here and speaking. We've been trying to organize this as quickly as possible. One of the first people that's going to talk to us is Richard, who's been involved with the Occupy Boston movement. He's going to give you guys a little bit of background on how this all started. So, can I get some applause, please, for Richard over here?
Could you stand up here so people can see you in the back?
I would be more than happy.
Thank you.
My name is Richard Curver. I am not anonymous. You know who I am. I live right here in Worcester, but I've been participating in both the Occupy DC, also known as October 2011, and the Occupy Boston. This moment I have a tent set up in Occupy Boston and have been attending the General Assemblies. I just wanted to know that there's a few excellent websites out there. OccupyTogether.org is primary. They're the ones that are broadcasting the Occupy movement as it develops around the world. They're providing all the Twitter hash codes, all of the websites, everything that you need to know no matter what city you are in. So one of the things I believe that Occupy Worcester and the media team that has developed, there is a media team, correct? Yes? All right, one of the things that they are doing is occupying the internet. We are a media happening. We want to be a media happening. We are the 99%. We are the 99%. And what we want to do is we want to broadcast our entire agenda and our entire message. And we need to record it, and we need to make that available to whoever wants to see it. A few things that I would recommend that we try to develop here is a process by which Occupy Worcester can happen. So we need to make some simple decisions about our process, about consensus decision making, about participatory democracy, and about how we are going to communicate with each other. The primary conversation is amongst ourselves, one-on-one and in groups, and then broadcasting that message and developing consensus on what our message is, our combined message. Any questions? Thank you.
Thanks, Richard. So I'm Julia, and I'm going to be one of the facilitators. Speak up! Mike! Alright, so if people don't know about it yet, the mic, people's mic, what we're going to do is someone's going to say something, and everyone's going to repeat it back.
And everyone's going to repeat it back.
Amen.
This has more than one function.
This has more than one function.
One thing that it does is it amplifies our voice. It also involves everyone, even if one person is speaking. It even allows us to be very thoughtful about the words that we use. So, after Richard's great introduction, we need to talk a bit more about consensus. Would someone from the audience, everyone here has the ability to be involved, who would like to help us talk about consensus? There are two volunteers. Or three. So let's maybe give everyone, each of them, a minute to say about consensus. So let's have we're going to do a lot in our process. We'll have a stack, which will mean one person right after the other. So let's have a stack between the three.
My name is Reverend Richard Chestnut.
Hello, Reverend.
I've been active.
His name is Reverend Richard Chestnut.
I have been active in politics most of my life, starting with 1968 in Chicago.
Politics most of my life.
Starting in
1968.
I served 5 years in the U.S. military, so I believe in what this is all about today.
I served 5 years in the U.S. military, so I believe what this is about today.
Those in the military right now are being criticized amongst this group that I just participated in. The money for the people to go to war with is being criticized. I, for one, as a citizen, veteran of Worcester,
Let him speak.
would love you all to stop war.
Yes.
And for this new organization to grow to the point where 360 million of us let Congress know how we feel. That we want our money in our banks at a reasonable rate of interest. That our stock market participates in that. And I want that to become part of our agenda so that not only the rich are rich, okay, but we also get rich, yes.
Yeah. So we have a few point of process. Basically, if someone else would like to, but I'll just say right now we're talking about how this is going to work and not our message yet.
Yes.
So we are going to let we will have a space for everyone to have their voice, but right now we're going to talk a little bit more about the process.
God bless everybody.
Yeah.
So, if you'd like to talk about consensus, please.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. My name is I'm Johnny.
Hello, Johnny.
It's nice to meet all of you.
Nice to meet all of you.
And it seems very, very important to us that we talk about consensus. And so, I have one simple thing to say about consensus and the process and how we get to it.
I have one simple thing to say about consensus and the process.
In Plato's Meno, Socrates says, when discussing and conversating, one's reply must be mild and conductive to discussion. By this, I mean it must not only be honest, but must also employ terms with which the questioner is familiar. Admits he is familiar. And
Can you speak in clips so we can all...
oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I got a little excited. All right. So my point is that we need to talk to each other and listen to each other and learn from each other. And that's all I have to say.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Mike. I'm going to tell you about consensus. We're all familiar with the kind of democracy where you vote, and whichever side gets the most votes is what you do.
Is what you do.
That's not consensus.
That's not consensus.
In a consensus process, we'd like to find things that everyone can get behind. And that's what we'll do. Maybe, if it has to come down to a vote, it comes down to a vote. But the goal is for all of us to unite about the things that unite us. And that's consensus. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Chris.
Hi, Chris.
And I just want to talk a little bit about the consensus process. All right, so there's something called stack. And what it usually is a list of names that are arranged in the order that people will speak. And there is a person who takes stack. Who you can go up and talk to. To get your name added to the list. This is a way. To ensure that everyone's heard. There's also something. Called point of process. And this is when. People feel we're getting sidetracked. And that's so you yell point of process. And we try and get back on track. Is there anything else?
Hi guys.
That's John! It's all due to glasses. He's taking stats.
Thanks, John. That's what I was gonna say. If you guys want to come and see me, or just put up your hands and I'll try and wade out to you and get your name and throw you up here on staff.
He's the name taker.
Thanks, Doug.
Thanks, Doug.
Is there anyone that can offer translation in any different languages other than English?
Yes.
Okay. Would you all step forward so we can handle this? So we can basically handle this and figure it out.
So at this point, everyone probably has a lot they want to say. Hopefully, we can find a way for everyone to get to say that. So, in order to do this, we have some options. And we should figure out what we want to do as a group. One option is to make one stack where individuals can come up and explain a little bit about why they are here or what they want to see happen. Another option is that we can break into smaller groups to have the same discussion and then let representatives from those groups share to the larger group. We should decide this together. option.
Point of process. We could use the hand signal,
We could use the hand signal,
which is I like it.
I like it,
Or the hand signal, I'm indifferent. Or the hand signal, I don't like it so much. And someone up front is gauging the consensus by hand signal.
I like it. What's the temperature on that? Yes? People in favor of that? All right. So, we have two options so far. Would someone else like to propose another? Otherwise, we will continue with one of those two options.
Option 3, what if we want to do both? Like some people want to go talk in groups, some people want to come up and stand. I think both should be allowed. It's all up to you guys though.
Freedom of choice.
What about the option of breaking into small groups first? Then people can report from those groups. And if they, at the end, people do not feel like they were represented, then individuals can come and speak at that time.
Clarifying question.
What are we talking about?
Mic check.
Mic check.
Is this discussion
Is this discussion
related to process,
related to process?
general concerns? I am very confused. All of it.
I think the proposal,
I think the proposal
which can be changed, was to discuss why we are here, and what we want to do.
Very simple. Mic check.
Mic check.
I propose
I propose
that the idea of direct democracy is not to have representatives, but for everybody's voices to be heard equally. In one voice.
I used consensus in Bosnia with 6,000 people from 12 countries. In 5 languages of translation. You can make a good consensus decision by breaking into small groups, hearing from everyone, especially the women, and then a spokesperson, not somebody speaking for themselves, speaking what the group says, brings it to the rest of the group for everyone to hear. If consensus does not arise, the groups meet again. The spokesperson is not speaking for themselves. They're speaking for the group. But for it to work, there needs discipline and time limits.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Move
still on stack, and we're not really using stack at all. So we should probably adjust that. Also, do you want to, Jorge, do you want to make your language announcement?
Sure.
Mic check. Mic check. Before we move the question, there is a quick question I would like to ask everyone. Is there anyone here from Manhattan? Are you going back? Yes. Can we send stuff with you?
I'm not going back
I'm not going back
until
until
late November. Sorry.
Alright, before we all start just yelling mic check, we're supposed to be using stack. So if anyone remembers that, where's Doug?
We're just excited to be here.
Yeah. Doug is over there. Doug, you should probably stay here and not be confusing. We have 2 people on stack right now. I don't know if they've already spoken, but is Steve here? Okay. So Steve's on stack right now, and in the future, if you can raise your hand and get on stack by talking to Doug, he'll write your name down. I'm sorry I'm not using people's mic right now. I'm bad at that. All right.
I don't mean to interrupt the process.
Okay, cool.
But I got on stack before the proposal. And I would just like to say, in my opinion, all of us are here because of what greed has done to justice and democracy. I want to explain why I have this sign. I am going to try to repeat what has been in the newspapers so that I may not be accused of slander. A number of years ago, was accused by a Worcester businessman of joining with him in selling heroin in Worcester. He was found with a bag full of drug money. His defense was that he did not know what was in the bag. He got off because the judge agreed with him. Okay. So that, I just wanted to explain why I have this sign. And how greed can really corrupt the community. Thank you.
Mic check.
Point of process.
Did we ever decide how we're going to form groups or not?
form groups or not?
Do you have consensus?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Mic check.
Mic check.
I'm gonna keep this quick. I got on stack before the proposal. But I wanted to share some more tools that we might be able to use. To help us communicate. These have been used in Wall Street. And in Boston. And if we choose to use them here, they might be kind of useful. Richard shared a few of them. And so that everyone is on the same page, I want to share others that you may be seeing some of us using. Sorry. I will keep it short. So we know about stack. We know about showing our support of an idea. We know about abstaining. We know about saying we don't like that idea. We may also see point of process when something someone is saying is off topic, or it's not actually what they're supposed to be talking about. Such as a point of information, which is a factual statement and not an opinion. Or a clarifying question, which is a clarifying question. If we use these hand signs, it can help us communicate more efficiently. Did I miss any?
Clarifying question. Which symbol does the group think we should use? Point of process. There are two that have been used. Martin, your suggestion?
I mean, I use this one, but that looks cool too.
Whoa. We understand the signals.
Yep.
Clarify question. I saw people doing this. Is this the use signal?
Yeah, so this is, we use this symbol when we understand what the speaker is saying, and we would rather them wrap it up real quick. Oh, and one more sign is a block. This is when we have a major problem with the decision at hand. But this is part of a larger process that we'll have to decide as a group. Point of information.
Mic check.
Mic check.
I was spending the last 3 days in Boston. And they decided not to use this as block anymore because it's a Nazi skinhead sign out in the Midwest.
Point taken.
Now, they decided to use it in Boston. What's this? Which is like a football block. I don't know what abstaining is in Boston. But I know they changed this to that.
Thank you. We have one more announcement. I'm sorry, before we get to the proposals. Please.
Before we get to the proposals.
Mic check.
Mic check.
My name is Jorge. I'm here to help. Anyone who speaks Spanish. Help them to be part of the experience. And so I will. Be speaking in Spanish. And when you all talk. You'll be helping Spanish people around. Get the message. Entonces. Vamos. A ayudar. A los hispanos. Ser parte. Del 99%. We'll work on it. Thank you. I'm going to be standing wherever you see a guy with a guitar. But if you need me, I will be by the circle. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have three proposals. The first proposal was for everyone to come up who wants to speak as individuals. The second proposal is who wants to only work in groups and then come together.
It's a bad explanation.
The third proposal was to work in groups first and individually second. I'm going to do a temperature check on the three proposals. If you are excited about the first proposal, let me know. Individually. If you are excited about groups only, let's see some excitement. How do we feel about groups first, then individually? There seems to be the most interest in option 3. So I propose we break off into smaller groups and we discuss with each other why we are here and what we want to do.
For how long?
For 15 minutes is my proposal. If anyone has another proposal or would like to modify that?
Modify to 30.
Clarifying question?
Clarifying question. The report backs are going to be an individual reporting back for the group?
For your group. For the group that you've broken off into.
At least one from each group.
So after the people that report back for the group, are people going to be allowed to speak for themselves?
Yes. Yes. So we will have groups and then we will make a stack for the groups to report back, and then after the groups report back, for the individuals to report back.
Two clarifying questions. How will we break up into groups, and how big will they be?
How will we break up into groups? How big will they be?
Let's just do it.
I think we can just make it happen.
Point of order. I say we break up. Into groups of no more. Than 10 to 15 people.
People okay with that?
And the time on it, can we do 15 or 30?
How long do people want to do this for? 15 minutes?
20.
We didn't see any excitement about that. Half an hour?
20.
Half hour.
20 minutes?
19.
Half an hour.
Half an hour?
Yes. Half an hour.
All right. We're going to be on a half an hour.
2:45.
So we will come back, at 2:45.
Thank you.
All right? Let's talk about why we're here. Question.
Who wants to form a group? 15 people.
What's your question?
15 people.
I have a question about process in our groups. It is just as important in small groups to maintain a process to find consensus and to ensure that all voices are heard. Some of us find it harder than others to speak out in front of people. For example, women, people of color. So I propose within your group, you first ensure a process to make sure
been notified.
I've been notified.
That there's water there.
That there's water there.
If you're thirsty.
If you're thirsty.
It's over there.
It's over there.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Katie.
I'm Katie.
And I just want to say this is a beautiful showing.
And I just want to say this is a beautiful showing
Of solidarity.
of solidarity
With Occupy Together.
with Occupy Together,
Occupy Wall Street.
Occupy Wall Street,
And Occupy all over the world.
and Occupy all over the world
In the interest.
of
making sure.
Each
of our members was heard.
each of our members was heard.
We made. A document. The first thing we discussed. Was our homeless children. Here in Worcester. I'm a teacher here. And 12%. Of my school alone. Children are homeless. Other people in the group. Expressed a feeling. Of helplessness. We discussed poverty. The inequality of representation. Of the people. For the people. By the people. We discussed the towns. Being shut down. Due to a lack of manufacturing. Here in America. We talked about the wealth gap. Which is only getting wider. Corporate greed. And the power. And the influence. Of money. And the corporate control. Of social media. We're tired of the crumbs. Hard work. No longer equals. A sustainable way of living. Women's health care has been slashed. Healthcare layoffs. People suffering. Due to unemployment. We're here to learn. We're just here to see the solidarity. Come together with common goals. Rebuild our dignity. And last but not least, Worcester, Massachusetts has amazing potential. We have 10 colleges. And good hardworking people. Let's do this, Worcester. Occupy together.
Next up is Jay.
Hello, everyone.
My group
Is a group
of Americans.
We don't care about our political party differences. We are here.
Together. We have made a list. Of things that we have agreed on. A consensus. Of our ideas. To begin. Banks play a huge role in our government. The power to the individuals. Needs to be addressed to media. Government. And banking. Campaign money. Shouldn't matter.
shouldn't matter.
Why can't we run for president?
Why can't we run for president?
Why can't they donate to us?
Why can't they donate to us?
To continue. We are not properly funding education.
We are not properly funding education.
Money should not equal opportunity.
Money should not equal opportunity.
Opportunity should be something called equality.
Opportunity should be something called equality.
To begin this, wars fund our government.
Wars fund our government.
War is an industry.
War is an industry.
Alright, I have an example.
I have an example.
Of a person in my group.
Of a person in my group.
Because I didn't ask them.
Because I didn't ask them.
They will remain anonymous.
They will remain anonymous.
At age 17.
At age 17.
They were diagnosed with leukemia.
They were diagnosed with leukemia.
At age 20.
At age 20.
With medical expenses alone.
With medical expenses alone.
He is 1.2 million.
He is 1.2 million.
Dollars in debt.
Dollars in debt.
Healthcare.
Healthcare.
Should not equal.
Should not equal.
Indentured servitude.
Indentured servitude.
We can all agree.
We can all agree.
There is something wrong with our system.
There is something wrong with our system.
We need to make.
We need to make
Capitalism work.
capitalism work.
We don't need to work.
We don't need to work
for capitalism.
for capitalism.
Well, we do. But you know what I mean. There is another person in my group.
There's another person in my group
who recently had to choose.
who recently had to choose
Her daughter's tuition.
her daughter's tuition
Or her own mortgage.
or her own mortgage.
And she chose.
And she chose
her daughter's tuition.
her daughter's tuition.
But
what about
her other 3 kids?
her other 3 kids?
What else will she have to give up?
What else will she have to give up?
Is there anything she can still give up?
Is there anything she can still give up?
Tell me if I go on too long.
Tell me if I go on too long.
Again, here's another thing. We need to have a stronger influence in our Congress. Each one of you deserves to have their voice heard by each and everyone else. As we've done today, I am speaking on behalf of my group. I have not left one point untouched. That is it.
Next up is Will.
Next
up is Will.
1 point.
1 point.
Repeatedly emphasized. By the members of my group. Is that nonviolence. And respect. For the community in which we occupy. Is the key to our message. Being heard and respected. Disrespect. Destructive behavior. And violence. Become the story. If we allow them. To become part of our occupation. We all have many concerns about the future. Those
Those of us with children.
Those of us with children.
Expressed our concerns.
Expressed our concerns.
That they. Will face a future.
Face the future.
Where they will not be as well off.
Where they will not be as well off.
Concerns about student debt were expressed.
Concerns about student debt were expressed.
Many people facing a period of unemployment after graduation.
Many people facing a period of unemployment after graduation.
And a debt which they can in no way discharge.
And a debt which they can in no way discharge.
This led to a discussion of other vulnerable populations.
This led to a discussion of other vulnerable populations.
Special needs students.
Special needs students.
Handicapped persons.
Handicapped persons.
Persons on fixed incomes.
Persons on fixed incomes.
Facing inflated prices.
Facing inflated prices.
And reduced budgets.
And reduced budgets.
For their support.
For their support.
We also look at the export of jobs.
We also looked at the export of jobs.
Over 500,000 in the last decade.
Over 500,000 in the last decade.
Bailout money.
Bailout money.
They got bailed out.
They got bailed out.
We got sold out.
We got sold out.
Our treasury.
Our treasury.
Even supported. European and other overseas banks.
European and other overseas banks.
To prevent their collapse.
To prevent their collapse.
Where is the support for the mortgage holder?
Where is the support for the mortgage holders?
The student with debt.
The students with debt.
We also see ongoing wars.
Ongoing wars.
Building our national debt.
Building our national debt.
Draining our treasury.
Draining our treasury.
And resulting in private profits.
Resulting in private profits.
For contractors.
For contractors.
That the rest of us will be paying for.
That the rest of us will be paying for.
As other groups have expressed.
As other groups have expressed.
Very eloquently.
Very eloquently.
We also share the concern for the profit motive in healthcare.
For the profit motive in healthcare.
And the burden that places. On regular people.
On regular people.
Another topic. Raised by several people. Was a concern about the effort. On the part of certain interests. To suppress the vote. To suppress the vote of minorities. To suppress the vote of students. To suppress the vote of poor people. By raising barriers. Of access. And cost. To our exercise of our franchise. Last. We wish to find ways. To support the ongoing. Occupation. Of Wall Street. In Lower Manhattan. We may be here for a day. We may be here for a week. We may be here for a month. But as long as Wall Street is occupied. Our voices cannot be ignored. Next is Melinda.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
My name is Melinda.
My name is Melinda.
I am representing 15 diverse
people.
Issues. Government does not represent us.
Government does not represent us.
Government does not care.
Government does not care.
Issue. Media has been representing.
Media has been representing. Protesters.
Media has been misrepresenting.
Media has been misrepresenting.
And criminalizing.
Protesters.
Issue.
Worry for future generations. Issue.
Bipartisan politics. Issue. The personhood of corporations. Issue. Government backed by corporations. Solutions. Address reform to two-party politics. Solution. American votes, which provides third-party alternatives. Solution. Constitutional amendments. Solution. Ignore corporate lords. Solution. Vote for who you want. Not necessarily the lesser evil. Solution. Affect no corporate or private. Influence in the campaign process. Solution. Continual consecutive assembly. Weekly assembly. Solution. Visit occupyworcester.com. Solution. Inconvenience large corporations. By moving money to local banks. Solutions. Blog and use your voice. Solution. Call representatives and city council. Solution. Encourage conversation. And engage in conversation. Solution. Think about where to meet. As cold weather approaches. Solution. Consider how we portray ourselves. To the media. In dress and demeanor. To deter criminalization. Finally. This is a grassroots beginning. Participatory